Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Hannah Joy TV. We are so honored to be joined by two amazing individuals who are working hard on the front lines, and that today is our dear sisters. We have Hope here, and we have President Poole with the NAACP of Gwinnett County. Welcome.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you for being here with us. I had the chance to meet you all yesterday. There was this really powerful protest organized by this group here in Gwinnett County because there are problems in Gwinnett County as well, just like there are problems happening around the country. So would love to start off by saying that. What are your hopes with this daily protest that's going to be happening in Gwinnett County? And why did you decide to start something like this at a time like this?
Well, we have been out in the streets protesting Gwinnett since May. And a lot of people don't realize that. A lot of people don't think that there's a movement happening here, but it is. And that's why we're calling it the hashtag It Happens Here Too movement. And so we're going to be out here every single day at 6 p.m. at the Lillian Webb Park in Norcross. This really all started when Gwinnett County, they have so many different police departments, and every single one has their issues. And the Norcross Police Department brutalized Keita Irvin, which is this young single Black mother in Norcross. Her two kids were doing virtual learning in their car due to the COVID situation. They're staying in an extended stay. And the Norcross Police Department, the Gwinnett County Police Department, they target these areas where these single mothers are often at, where they're often minority areas, labeling them high crime areas. And so the police officer, Officer Mora, he approached Miss Keita's two minor kids, 14 and 16, trying to question them. And the situation escalated to where Miss Keita was arrested. But they didn't realize that they messed with the wrong woman. They messed with the wrong mother. She is passionate about this movement. She's passionate about police reform and policy change. And so she reached out to the Gwinnett NAACP, and Ms. Poole reached out to me. And so we're using this case and other cases that are willing to let us use them on this platform to raise awareness that we need to see reform here. We have an issue of police brutality and systemic racism here in Gwinnett County. And we, the people, if we come together and if we fight and use our resources and we arm ourselves with the knowledge and the education and we be on the front lines, we have been protesting throughout all of Gwinnett. And what we see is the more we go out there, whether it's 2 of us or 1,000 of us, they hate it. It makes them mad. And so then it makes them listen to finally hear what it is we're trying to say. And so that's why we're going out here.
And you know what? I really appreciate the approach that you all had yesterday. You all gave us flyers, and then we went around the downtown area or the city area, passing them out and canvassing. And what we noticed is that some people were saying, "Oh, this happens in Norcross. We don't see that." Well, it is happening. And so, President Poole, what is your hope? With canvassing, with protesting, with continue to amplify this cause?
Well, again. There are two worlds in Gwinnett. There's the world of those who live in these big houses with their green lawns. And then there are those who are struggling to live, struggling to eat. We have people who are hungry up here. And this is a population that they do not care to talk about. And but what has been happening, many of these people who do not have the financial backing to bring these things to light, meaning hire attorneys and get people to speak for them, they have their rights have been violated. They are treated less than human beings. And it goes into what is happening in our country right now. The police have been brutal, and because of race, people are being mistreated. Just when you are African American and Black in Gwinnett, all the statistics show that you are more likely to be incarcerated. You're more likely for your child to be at an alternative school. You're more likely as a Black female with single children to be living in an extended stay. All African Americans are more likely to be stopped and frisked up here. This information is not getting out. This is something that they keep quiet. This is something that the people who are...
I think we lost your audio there for a second. See, we'll certainly get her back here once it comes back up. We lost your audio there, but I think the points that she was making just about how, you know, you don't really hear about this a lot happening in Gwinnett County when it is happening. And so we thank you all for being able to amplify this situation in these cases, you know, even going as far as calling it a state of emergency, because it is. People are dying every single day. And so if people want to get involved, I know there's different ways. People can come protest, people can donate to specifically Gwinnett NAACP. We'll have that information in the caption. What other ways, you know, can people get involved, and what would that support mean to you all?
Yeah. In Gwinnett County, there are so many big cases that aren't getting the coverage by the news because it's not happening in Atlanta, because it's not good for their ratings. So what we need is for cases like the 18-year-old young man who was still in high school at the time, was shot and killed by the Gwinnett Police Department September 10th. His case barely got any news coverage. So that's why we need to use social media to our advantage. So reposting the videos that you all are seeing, using the hashtags, hashtag it happens here, hashtag Gwinnett County, and also reposting like Keita Urban's case and so many others, so that it can bring attention, because once we bring attention, then more people will show up. Reposting the flyers, donating to, as she was saying, to the Gwinnett NAACP. You can find us on Instagram at Gwinnett_NAACP, because we need those funds to effectively canvass, to effectively do these protests. If we're able to come out tonight, we need supplies so that we can make the signs and show artistically our solidarity with Keita Urban, Robert Lusk, and the other victims of police brutality here in Gwinnett, and really getting out in the street, because I mean, I go to a lot of protests here, and I go to a lot of protests in Atlanta and also in Nashville. And when I go to the protests in Atlanta, it's really disheartening seeing all these people that I'm like, you live in Gwinnett, we went to high school together, why are you in Atlanta? So getting out there into the streets, being out on the front lines, and not being scared. I know that Gwinnett County, they try to use scare tactics to get people out of the streets and to get them to stop protesting, but we're out here and we're stronger together. And so just putting the word out there, reposting the videos, sharing the flyers, showing up and donating, that's what we really need right now.
And it makes a difference. All these efforts work together to make a difference. And, you know, we always say there's so many different ways to fight. So if you can't go to these protests, go. If you can donate, donate. If you can provide supplies, do that. There's so many ways you can make a difference. And so really just appreciate the work that the Georgia Gwinnett County NAACP is doing with our sisters, Hope and President Poole, because this work, it's not easy work, and we just commend you all for this leadership. And President Poole, you know, in addition to this type of leadership, right, we're not just protesting, we also go into the polls, you know. And I know you had mentioned this initiative, I believe, the Ride to the Polls. So we'd love to hear a little bit about that, because we know that this is a multifaceted journey, and we know that we're hitting it in so many different angles.
Right. Well, thank you again. The only way to make these changes is through policy. And that means electing people who are going to make laws that are going to reflect the things that our community needs. And this 2020 election, we have over 300,000 African American and Black people who live in Gwinnett County. 300,000, and 150,000 of those people are registered voters. We need to make sure that you get in to vote before the 30th, because on November 3rd, those lines will be so long. We have daily totals update that we're letting every day, that we're letting people know that's out there. But please cast that ballot. Please let your voice be heard, because that's the way to change policy. That's the way to get people in office who think and like you do. And we need that so desperately here in Gwinnett, because the people who have been in power since Reconstruction, they still don't want to give it up. They still don't want to share it. Again, let me say that the people who have been in power since Reconstruction don't want to give it up, don't want to share it. Because if they did, we would not have it as oppressive up here in Gwinnett County as it is. So when you speak against those things, and when you say differently from what the status quo does, then they label you up here. But however, that different voice we needed, especially you young people, when you come out there in Norcross, when you come out there and lift up your voice for Keita, not only Keita, but back in January, we had a gentleman who was killed at the Burger King by the Lawrenceville Police Department. We still don't hear about that. May 29th, we have another gentleman who was killed in Snellville. We still haven't heard about that. Then we have another young man, Lusk, who was just murdered in Lawrenceville, in Greater Gwinnett. Let me not say opposite, but in Greater Gwinnett, 18 years old, September 10th. We still haven't heard about that. So what Gwinnett County does is they don't talk about these things. So that means we need to put and elect people in positions who will talk to us, a DA who will talk to us and make sure that these things are handled and young people are not criminalized as adults waiting on adult sentencing. We want to make sure that the sheriff's department, that they're being treated fairly when they do get arrested and that people are treated like human beings. So you need to look at that sheriff race. We need to look at the people who are running these cities to make sure that the Suwannee department, who lets a man who does a no-knock warrant on a man's home and then make him stand out in the street naked, not even giving him the opportunity to put clothes on, and his genitals are hanging for all of his neighbors to see. The Suwannee and Little Bern police did that. They won't speak about it. There's so many things that are happening, and their advice is they won't speak about it. Well, Gwinnett, we need you to get talking, and the way to do that is to put people in place who will talk with us.
Mm-hmm. Woo, I felt that. I hope everybody else listening is channeling this passion and this strength and this strategy. You know, we have to keep pushing, because if we're not raising awareness about it, nobody's even going to know about it. No one's going to do anything about it. But it starts with having the conversation. It starts with educating yourselves. And then, like these sisters says, you protest, you create policy, and you put people in place who will make those changes happen. Would y'all like to share any final words?
Yeah, the Gwinnett NAACP, we are also training people for election protection. So if you want to, on election day, come to these polls, because we know that voter suppression, Gwinnett County has to be like running the race on being the worst at voter suppression in Georgia. So if you want to be a part of election protection, it's super easy. You can go to our Instagram to find out more information about who to contact so that you can get trained, because we need us out there, because people are going to be working the polls. They're going to be out there doing election protection. We want to make sure that we exercise our right to vote and that we get to do it as we can. So if you want to be a part of election protection, you can go to our Instagram, Gwinnett_NAACP, and you can sign up there.
Wonderful. Thank you for that. And President Poole, any final words you have to share?
Well, first of all, I am so proud of what you are doing, because it's young people. Everyone wants to say that our community, our young people are not out there on the front lines. And you two are examples of that. So I am tired of the verbiage that's being written so negatively about our community. So I just want to give you kudos for what you're doing and getting this message out. And most of all, I just want people to know that we're only as strong as each person that stands with us. Mm-hmm. So don't look what someone else will do, but do what you're going to do. Do your part. When you do your part, then you know that everything possible has been done. Do your part. Vote. Let your voice be heard. And I am proud of our young people who are out there getting these messages out. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, President Poole, and to our dear sister Hope, who's an activist on the front lines. We appreciate you all. We appreciate what Gwinnett NAACP does, because we know these efforts would not be possible without y'all's leadership and the organization's leadership. Thank you all for joining us. We'll have all the information in the caption on how everybody watching can get involved, whether you show up to the protest, whether you donate, or whether you do both. All right, let's keep pushing. Let's keep fighting. As always, sending you all lots of positive vibes. Stay safe. Thank you all for joining us. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.